Yes, good morning, children. Now, today, this is lecture 4 of class 12 physics, and today we are going to discuss about the Gauss's theorem or the Gauss's law in electrostatics. Before we discuss the Gauss's theorem, we should discuss the area vector. Now, area is considered as a vector quantity because besides the magnitude, its orientation in the electric field must also be presumed to get the electric flux. Area vector is always normal to the surface ds. Now, children, there is a confusion. Always we are just thinking that the area is the scalar quantity, but here in this particular situation, in the electrostatics, we are taking the area as a vector quantity because we are taking its orientation in particular direction. So that is why here in whole of the electrostatics, area will be considered as a vector quantity. I think it is understood. So that is why it is denoted by ds vector. Now the second topic, which before the discussion of the Gauss's law, we are just going to discuss, that is what is the solid angle. The solid angle is a three-dimensional angle concept. When the any surface you are assuming, that is the AB surface, if you are assuming in the space, and the O point is also in the space, we are observing this AB surface, then a cone type of the structure is being formed, then this angle which is formed by this cone, by observing the point A and B, this whole of the surface from this point A, you will get the cone type of a structure, and this angle is the solid angle, and this is called denoted by d omega, and ds is the area vector ds. Now if we take the normal of this, then it is AC, that means if it is tilted like this, so we'll take the normal of it. So normal component of the surface AB, it is the A and C, and normal component of AC, it is AB cos theta. It is the normal component because in between the angle will be equivalent to cos theta. So the solid angle subtended by any surface at a point O is the ratio of normal component of area and a square of its distance from the point considered. The point considered is O. So d omega is equal to AC, this is the normal component of AB, divided by R square. Now this normal component of AB will be equivalent to AB cos theta. AC will be equivalent to AB cos theta. So d omega is equal to AB cos theta upon R square. Now it is measured in the space and its unit is stay-radian. So children, we have discussed that area is acting as a vector quantity, and solid angle is, the formula for the solid angle is AB cos theta upon R square, and the SI unit is stay-radian. Now we are beginning our discussion for this Gauss's law in electrostatics. This law gives a relation between the electric flux linked with any closed surface and the charge present inside it. The law may be stated as below. The surface integral of electric field vector, that is denoted by E within bracket R. This small r is just denoting the position vector linked with the closed surface multiplied by the permittivity of the space or medium is equal to the total charge enclosed inside it. Now remember children that if the epsilon 0 k is taken, that means the charges are in the medium because we are considering the dielectric constant capital K. If it is in the space, then it will be only the epsilon 0, that is the permittivity of the free space only. Hence the mathematical expression will be epsilon 0 k surface integral for the closed surface. So for applying the Gauss's law, it's very essential that we have to consider a closed surface. So these two signs of the integration, it is the surface integral. For this 0, it is the showing the closed surface. So ER dot ds, it is the electric flux, is equal to sigma q. Sigma q means the total charge enclosed inside the surface. So this is the formula for the Gauss's law in electrostatics, that is the epsilon 0 k surface integral for the closed surface E dot ds is equal to sigma into q. Now children, we have not discussed that the electric flux. Now it may be defined as the total number of electric lines of force crossing the surface in a direction normal to the surface. So this is the, suppose this is the total surface S, and a small surface if it is taken, it is the ds, and electric field is E. So d phi is equal to E cos theta into ds, or d phi, when the cos theta is involved, we all know that it is the dot product of it. So d phi is equal to, it is the dot product of electric field and area vector. Its unit is Newton meter square per Coulomb, or when we are taking in the numerator, it is Coulomb minus 1. So its unit is Newton meter square Coulomb minus 1. I think you can easily calculate it. Now take the surface integral. When the charges are distributed on any surface, then we are taking the surface integral. If the charges are distributed on the line, then we are taking the line integral, and when the charges are distributed on the volume, then we are taking the volume integral. Integration process is the same, but on the basis of the charge distribution, we are just segregating the line integral and the surface integral and the volume integral. Now, it gives the electric flux linked with the surface. Then if S, capital S is the total surface, and this is the small surface considered inside, that is the vector ds. So the electric flux may be represented as the surface integral E dot ds. Children, surface integral can be represented by the single line also, but you have to write the S here so that it will represent the surface integral. Or if you are just drawing the two lines of the integration, then it is also the symbol of surface integral. Now sigma is because the surface integral, because the surface charge density is sigma, and sigma is equal to q upon ds, or we can say the total charge enclosed inside it is equivalent to sigma into ds. Now let us proceed with the explanation of this Gauss's law. The statement of the Gauss law leads to the following informations. First, this law holds true only for the closed surfaces, and therefore in order to apply the Gauss's law, we'll have to consider a closed surface which will be called Gaussian surface. The electric flux is linked only when charge lies inside the closed surface. Charges lying outside the surface do not contribute any electric flux. In case several charges lie inside the closed surface at different points, the electric flux will be due to net charge present with the closed surface. Location of the individual charge does not matter. If the several charges are there, that is the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 and so on, then it will be denoted by sigma Q. Now let us children see the proof of the Gauss's law. Very simple it is. Consider an elementary area. This is the AB on the closed surface lying at a distance r from the charge plus q, and subtending the solid angle d omega at the charge. This is the solid angle d omega. That is why earlier I have just explained the solid angle, so that you will not feel this problem when we are discussing the proof of the Gauss's law. Now this AC is the normal component of this. AB is the area vector ds, and the electric field will be in this direction. The ds is inclined at certain angle, so ds will be resolved into two components. Now see, the electric flux linked with the element AB is phi is equal to E dot ds, or the value of E we can easily write down 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 k into Q upon R square. This is the formula for the electric field. Then R1 is the unit vector dot ds. Now this R1 dot ds upon R square. So up to here it is clear. Now again I have explained for your clarification that ds is inclined when, and here the area vector is a vector quantity inclined at the theta angle suppose. Then we are having the two components, horizontal component as well as the vertical component. So horizontal component is ds cos theta and vertical component is ds sin theta. So R1 dot ds, it means it is the ds R1 ds cos theta, and it will be equivalent to AB cos theta, and AB cos theta means this is the normal component of this. The normal component of AB is, it is the AC. Now R1 dot ds upon R square is equal to area of AC upon R square. The R1 dot ds upon R square is what? It is the d omega according to the formula of the solid angle. So at the place of this R1 dot ds upon R square, R1 dot ds upon R square, we are putting the value d omega, and we'll get the expression E dot ds is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught k into d omega. Up to here I think it's clear. Now considering all such type of the elementary areas, we have considered the very small area of it constituting the closed surface. We will have the surface integral for the closed surface electric field dot ds is equal to Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught k, and the surface integral of d omega. For closed surface, the d omega is 4 pi sterically. So substitute this value here, you will get the 4 pi in the place of d omega, and will get the expression ER ds Q upon epsilon naught k. Again listen, this is the surface integral for the closed surface. E dot ds is equal to Q upon epsilon naught k, and if you multiply here epsilon naught k, you will get this expression. And if the several charges are there, then in place of Q we can write sigma Q. So the final expression for the Gauss's law which we have to obtain, that is becoming epsilon naught k, the surface integral for the closed surface electric field. R is denoting the position of the electric field, dot ds is equal to sigma q, which is the Gauss's law. So this is the very simple proof of Gauss law. Now children, we are discussing the applications of the Gauss's law one by one. So first case is to determine the electric field near a long straight charged wire. So this is the line on which the charge is uniformly distributed, and we all know that when the line charge distribution is there, the line charge density comes in the picture, that is denoted by lambda. So around this we are considering the closed surface in the form of the cylinder, and this is known as the Gaussian surface. Because Gauss's law will be applicable, is valid only for the closed surfaces. So until and unless we are not having any closed surface, we cannot apply the Gauss's law. Now on this there is a point P. if we put the plus q0 charge for the testing, we can easily find out the direction of the electric field. It will be repelled by this charge. So this is the electric field, and the area vector is always normal to the surface. So the ds is also in the same direction, and the angle between the E and ds is 0 degree because both are in the same direction. I have written also here, again I am just repeating, consider a long straight wire carrying the charge lambda per unit length and placed in a medium of the dielectric capital K. Now P is a point at the distance x where E is electric field is required. Let us imagine the coaxial cylinder of length dl drawn through point P. Now it will enclose how much charge? According to the definition of the linear charge density, lambda is equal to q upon dl. Earlier we have read, so q is equal to lambda into dl. So the value of the sigma q is lambda into dl here in this case. So apply the Gauss's theorem, Gauss's law. Epsilon 0 k surface integral for the closed surface E dot ds is equal to sigma q. Here sigma q is equal to lambda into dl. E dot ds means E cos theta into ds, and because of the fact that E and ds both are parallel to each other, so the angle between them is 0. So theta is equal to 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. So epsilon naught k, we take the electric field outside. And here it is the cos 0 is equal to 1. So it is only the surface integral of ds is equal to lambda into dl. Now here what is the ds, children? It should be understood very clearly. It is the area of the Gaussian surface. Always the surface integral for the closed surface, the ds which we are representing, that is the area of the Gaussian surface considered. So here we have considered the Gaussian surface in the form of the cylinder. So what is the area of the cylinder? It is well known to us, that is the 2 pi r into h. That means the radius and h is the height. So here in place of r it is x, and in place of h, that means the height of the cylinder, is denoted by dl. So the ds is equal to 2 pi x into dl. Now substitute this value epsilon 0 k into E in place of surface integral ds. We can write 2 pi x into dl is equal to lambda into dl, and this dl will be cancelled out. E is equal to lambda upon 2 pi epsilon 0 k into x. So E is inversely proportional to x. It is not the x square, children. So in this particular case, the inverse square law is not being obeyed. And if you draw the graph between the E and x, earlier we have also discussed, it is the curved graph. So remember it, the inverse square law, which is very important and almost in physics applicable to everywhere, but here in this particular case it is not applicable. The second case, so the second application which we are taking, that we have to find out the electric field near a sheet of charge. That means the surface charge distribution. And surface charge distribution means the sigma. The surface charge density is denoted by sigma. Now this is the Gaussian surface which we have considered. Suppose this is the sheet, and here this is the point P. Now around this point P we can consider this Gaussian surface both the ways. So if we just to know the direction of the electric field, we have to put the plus q0, that means the test charge. It will feel the repulsion force, so the direction of the electric field will be in this direction, and ds is always perpendicular to the surface. So again E and ds both are in the same direction, and theta is equal to 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. Again I am just repeating the same thing, consider a sheet of charge having surface density of charge sigma and placed in a medium of dielectric K. Now P is a point near the sheet where field is required, where we want to find out the value of the electric field. To apply the Gauss's law, let us consider a cylinder of the cross section ds. ds to be drawn normally on the sheet and extended up to the equal distance on either sides. It will enclose the charge according to the surface charge density formula. Q is equal to sigma into ds. Now according to the Gauss's law, apply the Gauss's law. Children, very interesting. Again and again you are writing this mathematical expression. The Gauss's law will be memorized to you automatically. Epsilon naught k surface integral for the closed surface E dot ds is equal to sigma q. Here the sigma q is equal to sigma into ds, and E dot ds means E ds cos theta is equal to sigma ds. E and ds are parallel to each other, so theta is equal to 0 degree, cos 0 degree is equal to 1, and epsilon naught k into E surface integral for the closed surface, this ds is equal to sigma into ds. Always remember children that this surface integral for the closed surface ds, this whole of the quantity is the area of the Gaussian surface. Don't get confused. It is the area of the Gaussian surface. Now total area of the Gaussian surface where the flux is linked, only the flux is linked at the cross sectional areas. One side the ds and another side is the ds, that is the equivalent to 2 ds. Now electric field into 2 ds is equal to sigma ds upon epsilon naught k, and ds will be cancelled out and E is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught k. That means if the sheet is there, then the electric field near the point is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 k. Now see the third application for the Gauss's law, electric field at a point outside a charged sphere. This is the hollow charged sphere. Now charge Q is distributed on it. And the point P is the point where the electric field is required. So around the point P we have to consider this Gaussian surface so that we are able just to apply the Gauss's law. Charge Q is there. It is the OP distances R. So according to the Gauss's theorem again, epsilon naught k, the surface integral for the closed surface E dot ds is equal to sigma q, and here the sigma q is equal to only the charge q is distributed on the sphere. So q is equal to sigma q, E and ds both are parallel to each other, so theta becomes 0 and cos 0 is equal to 1. Epsilon 0 k surface integral closed surface E cos theta into ds is equal to sigma q, then it is 1, and E taken outside, only this surface integral of ds is equal to sigma q. Again I am emphasizing that what is this quantity? This quantity surface integral for the closed surface ds, it is nothing, it is only the area of the Gaussian surface which you have considered. So the area of the Gaussian surface of the spherical surface, it is 4 pi r square, we all know, and sigma q is equal to only the charge q. E is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon naught k into r square. So the simple formula which we have obtained for the point charge in the case of the electric field, we have again got the same type of a formula. E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught k into q upon r square. Now if the electric field at a point inside the hollow charge sphere, if the point P lies inside the sphere, then what will happen? If we have to again consider this Gaussian surface, but if you see it carefully, the Gaussian surface is not having any charge inside it because all the charge is distributed outside. When inside no charge is there, so the value of the sigma q is automatically 0. in this, and when the charge is not enclosed inside the Gaussian surface, there will be no flux. So if you apply this Gauss's theorem या Gauss's law, the Gaussian surface does not have any charge and hence there will be no electric flux linked with the surface. That means sigma q is equal to 0 and the electric field is also 0. This is the fundamental phenomena of the physics that is also known as the electrostatic shielding. And electrostatic shielding, it means that the inside the any cavity, if the charge is distributed outside, but if you go inside the cavity, then the charge will be 0. A very good example I just want to give it to you, that if the lightning and thundering is occurring and you are out and you are just driving the car, so it will be better to be inside the car instead of just standing outside. Why? Because of the fact that this electrostatic shielding, that car will be treated as the closed surface, and inside the closed surface the electric field is 0. So you will be safe inside the car. But if you are just standing outside, then lightning can harm you. Thank you. Now come to the students' fifth application. Electric field at a point between two parallel plane charged conductor. यहाँ पे मैं ये पहले बता दे रहा हूँ कि ये फॉर्मूला आपको जब आप कैपेसिटर पढ़ेंगे तब आपको यूज करना पड़ेगा. तो दिस इज द A plate and this is the B plate. So we have to consider the surface charge density. यहाँ पे प्लस सिग्मा चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है और यहाँ पे माइनस सिग्मा चार्ज का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है. If the point P is inside, now children, very easy just to find out the direction. Suppose कि ये वाला शीट नहीं है, यहाँ पे P पॉइंट पे हम प्लस Q0 रखेंगे तो क्या होगा, प्लस Q0 जो है वो इस प्लस से रिपेल होगा, तो ये E1 इस डायरेक्शन में आ जाएगा. अच्छा, वो प्लस Q0 इस नेगेटिव चार्ज की वजह से अट्रैक्ट होगा तो E2 भी इसी डायरेक्शन में आ जाएगा. दैट मीन्स व्हेन द पॉइंट P इज इनसाइड द टू प्लेट्स, देन E1 एंड E2 बोथ आर इन द सेम डायरेक्शन. बट द पॉइंट P व्हेन इट इज आउटसाइड, इसकी वजह से ये रिपेल करेगा तो E1 इस डायरेक्शन में होगा, लेकिन प्लस Q0 इसकी वजह से इधर अट्रैक्ट कर जाएगा तो E2 इस डायरेक्शन में हो जाएगा. दैट मीन्स आई वॉन्ट टू से दैट व्हेन द पॉइंट P इज आउटसाइड, देन E1 एंड E2 बोथ आर ऑपोजिट इन डायरेक्शन. व्हेन द पॉइंट P इनसाइड, both the electric fields E1 and E2 are in the same direction, and when the point P lies outside, both the electric field E1 and E2 are in the different direction. Now if we are assuming that this is only the one plate, suppose this is A plate is there, so we can find out the E1 is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 K. We can write directly this formula because just now we have proved this relation for the sheet of a charge. Then E2 is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 K. Only the difference is when point P lies inside, the electric field is a vector quantity, so it is the vector sum of the vector E1 plus vector E2. Substitute these values and you will get 2 sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 K after taking the LCM and all that, and 2 epsilon 0 K. Now this 2 and 2 will be cancelled out, and the formula which we are getting, that is the E is equal to sigma upon epsilon 0 K. If the point B lies outside, the difference is only E1 is the same, sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 K, and both are in the opposite direction. So sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 K minus sigma upon 2 epsilon 0 K, that means the electric field outside this system is equal to 0. We know that electric field is equal to electric potential upon D. यहाँ पे बच्चों थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है, अभी इस फॉर्मूले को अभी आप थोड़ा याद कर लीजिए, आगे चल करके हम इस इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड और पोटेंशियल का जो रिलेशन है वो देखेंगे आगे चल करके. एंड व्हाट इज D? D is the distance between these two plates. Sometimes it is denoted by R also. So don't get confused. E is equal to V upon D. E is the electric field, V is the potential, and D is the distance between these two sheets. So potential is equal to ED, or V is equal to sigma D upon epsilon naught K. So here this is the electric field inside and this is the potential inside. Automatically I think it is very clear, when the electric field outside is 0, the potential is also 0. If the charge densities are different, suppose here the charge density is sigma A and here the charge density is sigma B. So it is again, if the point P lies inside, E1 and E2 are in the same direction, and when the P lies outside, the E1 and E2 are in the opposite direction. At P inside, the E is equal to E1 plus E2, and it will become sigma A plus sigma B upon 2 epsilon naught K, and when P is outside, it is sigma A minus sigma B upon 2 epsilon naught K. Now take the another application. This is the E at a point near an infinite charged conductor. If xy is the charged conductor on which it is just like a surface, and on this surface the plus sigma charge is uniformly distributed. We are having the point C and point D. Suppose at the point D the E dash electric field is there, and at the point C E electric field is there. Now cross sectional area is ds here also, and around the D also the cross sectional area remains the same. So at C what will happen? Phi is equal to E dot ds. C, because of this, if you place the plus q0 here, then it will be repelled. The direction of the electric field, we can easily know that what is the direction of the electric field, it is outward. So E dot ds, and here the flux involved, that is the E dash dot ds, total flux involved is E dot ds plus E dash dot ds. E ds cos 0 degree plus E dash cos 0 degree, because both are in the ds से और इससे ds से आपके ये वैल्यूज जो हैं वो एक ही तरफ हैं, यानी कि E की डायरेक्शन और ds की डायरेक्शन एक तरफ है, और E डैश और ds की डायरेक्शन भी एक ही तरफ है. तो दैट इज वाई बोथ आर हैविंग द 0 degree angle between them, and we all know that cos 0 is 1. So if you substitute, you will get phi is equal to q upon epsilon 0. Here sigma q is 0. Why sigma q is 0? See, what the Gaussian surface you have considered, there is no charge enclosed inside it, because this sheet is separated from the Gaussian surface which you have considered. So the flux linked with it 0. So 0 is equal to E ds plus E dash ds, and we can write E ds is equal to minus E dash ds, and ds will be cancelled out, and E यानी कि magnitude of E, the mode of E is equal to mode of E dash. That means this sheet, if the charge distribution is sigma, and we are having very near 2 points D and C, then at these 2 points the magnitude of electric field remains the same. Hence the electric field at all points near the charge plate is the same. Now if you see the case number 2, if this surface is like this and plus sigma charge is uniformly distributed on the xy, and the point C is here and the point D is here on the either side of this surface, then at the point C the E will be in this side, and at the point D it will be in this side, because we are always putting the plus q0 just to find out the direction of electric field. तो प्लस क्यू जीरो रखेंगे यहाँ पे तो इसका रिपल्शन इस तरफ होगा, अगर प्लस क्यू जीरो यहाँ पे रखेंगे तो इसका रिपल्शन इस तरफ होगा. दिस इज ओनली द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द प्रीवियस केस एंड दिस केस. So at the point C, phi is equal to E ds cos theta and E ds cos 0 degree is equal to E ds, and at the point D, phi is equal to E ds cos 180 degree. So it is E ds cos 180 degree is equal to minus 1 is equal to minus E ds. But the total flux is equal to E ds. Children, here the negative sign is only showing the direction, because electric flux is the scalar quantity. So we must not consider this negative sign in adding or subtracting. So E ds electric flux is here and E ds electric flux is there. So total flux will be 2 E ds. This plus minus sign should not be considered because the electric flux is a scalar quantity, not the vector. So this is the equation number 1. If you apply the Gauss's theorem, epsilon naught k surface integral E dot ds is equal to sigma q, phi is equal to sigma ds upon epsilon naught k, and 2E ds is equal to sigma ds upon epsilon naught k. We have found out the phi by the two methods. One is from this method and another by application of the Gauss's law. Equating these two equations, will get 2E ds is equal to sigma ds upon epsilon naught k. So E is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught k. So this will be the electric field on either side of the points C and D. Now another application of the electric field. Now if the electric field due to the solid sphere of charge, इसके पहले हमने क्या किया, ये जो इसी तरह का एक एक्सप्रेशन किया है लेकिन वो हॉलो था, और ये कैसा है, नाउ दिस इज द सॉलिड स्फीयर ऑफ चार्ज ऑन विच द क्यू चार्ज इज यूनिफॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. द सेम थिंग, दिस इज द रेडियस ऑफ दिस सॉलिड स्फीयर इज द आर, एंड द पॉइंट P on at which the electric field is required, it is at the distance small r, and at this point P we have to consider the Gaussian surface around it. E in this direction and ds is always normal to the surface. So again these two are in the parallel to each other and the angle between them is 0. Now here we are having the three cases. When P lies outside, जब P आपका बाहर लाई कर रहा है तो ये इतना चार्ज आपका एनक्लोज होगा. तो अप्लाई दिस गॉसेस लॉ, एप्सिलॉन 0 k सरफेस इंटीग्रल फॉर द क्लोज सरफेस E dot ds is equal to sigma q. Now epsilon 0 k into E surface integral of ds is equal to q. The theta is equal to 0 as usual, cos 0 is equal to 1, and again I am repeating, again and again I am emphasizing that surface integral for the closed surface and ds, it is the area of the Gaussian surface. So epsilon 0 k into E, and the area of the Gaussian surface is, because the distance is small r, so we can take the 4 pi r square is equal to q, and the electric field will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught k into q upon small r square. So this is the expression. Now if the point P lies at the surface of the solid sphere, then only the change is this small r will be replaced by capital R. So nothing special in it. E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 k into q upon capital R square. So when the point P lies outside, it will be taken small r square, and when the point P lies at the surface, then we have to consider the radius of solid sphere, that is the capital R. Now we know that the volume charge density, because it is the solid sphere, so we have to consider the volume charge density. That means the charge distribution is on the total volume. In that case, Q is equal to rho into dV. Rho is the volume charge density. Rho and the volume will be equivalent to 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. Now electric field is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 K. Now the value of Q is rho into dV. So rho into 4 by 3 pi R cube. After cancelling it, electric field is equal to rho R cube upon 3 epsilon naught K. So this is the when the point P lies at the surface. So at the surface, if the simple formula is there, only this capital R, small r is replaced by the capital R, and the formula becomes E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught K into Q upon R square. But if we take the volume charge density concept, then the formula becoming E is equal to rho into R cube upon 3 epsilon naught into K, where rho is the volume charge density, R is the radius of the solid sphere, epsilon naught is the permittivity of the free space, and K is the dielectric constant of the medium. Now when the point P lies inside the solid sphere, if it is lying inside the solid sphere, earlier we have done also in the case of the hollow sphere, तब तो हमें इस गॉसियन सरफेस में कोई भी चार्ज नहीं मिल रहा था, लेकिन जब ये सॉलिड होगा तो इसके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ चार्ज जरूर होगा. उसको हमने क्या मान लिया है अभी, Q डैश मान लिया है. वहां पे हॉलो था तो हॉलो में अंदर कोई भी चार्ज नहीं था और हमने सिग्मा Q की वैल्यू 0 लिख दी थी, और उसी को हम लोगों ने कहा था कि दिस इज द इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक शील्डिंग. लेकिन यहां पे चूंकि ये सॉलिड पूरे वॉल्यूम पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, इसलिए ये Q यहां पे कुछ ना कुछ चार्ज तो इस गॉसियन सरफेस के अंदर होगा. अगर टोटल चार्ज बाहर वाले सरफेस पे सॉलिड स्फीयर पे प्लस Q है तो वो कुछ डिफरेंट होगा, Q नहीं होगा, इसलिए हमने उसको कुछ डिफरेंट मान लिया है, दैट इज द Q डैश. सो दिस इज द गॉसियन सरफेस. अब ये बहुत इजी है. एक यूनिटरी मैथड हम लोग बहुत छोटे जब थे तब पढ़ते थे कि इतने वॉल्यूम पे Q चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है. कितने वॉल्यूम पे, 4 by 3 पाई कैपिटल R क्यूब, ये कैपिटल R है. इस पे कितना चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, स्मॉल Q चार्ज डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, इसलिए 1 पे कितना होगा, Q अपॉन 4 पाई R क्यूब होगा. और अगर हम इस वाले पे चाहें तो इसका रेडियस कितना है, स्मॉल r है, तो 4 by 3 पाई R क्यूब वॉल्यूम पे कितना चार्ज होगा. तो ये मल्टीप्लाई हो जाएगा, इसमें से जो भी कुछ कैंसिल हो रहा है उसको कैंसिल कर दीजिए और आपका आ जाएगा Q R क्यूब अपॉन कैपिटल R क्यूब. यही वैल्यू जो होगी, दिस इज द वैल्यू ऑफ Q डैश, यानी कि इस गॉसियन सरफेस के अंदर कितना चार्ज होगा, जो हमने ऐसे ही एज्यूम कर लिया था Q डैश, वो हमने Q के फॉर्म में निकाल लिया है. तो एक ही है वो गॉस. एप्सिलॉन नॉट के सरफेस इंटीग्रल ऑफ E डॉट ds इज इक्वल टू Q डैश. अच्छा, नाउ Q डैश की वैल्यू हम कैलकुलेट कर चुके हैं, तो सब्स्टिट्यूट कर दें Q R क्यूब अपॉन कैपिटल R क्यूब, एंड हियर इट इज एप्सिलॉन 0 K इंटू E. और फिर मैं एम्फेसिस कर रहा हूं कि दिस इज द सरफेस इंटीग्रल फॉर द क्लोज सरफेस ds. द एरिया ऑफ द गॉसियन सरफेस, तो एरिया ऑफ द गॉसियन सरफेस तो 4/3 नहीं होगा क्योंकि वो वॉल्यूम हो जाएगा. तो एरिया ऑफ द गॉसियन सरफेस, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, बच्चे इसमें बहुत गलती करते हैं. तो हमेशा ये ध्यान रखिए कि ये जो क्वांटिटी है, ये गॉसियन सरफेस जो आप कंसीडर कर रहे हैं उसका एरिया है. तो यहां पर भी जो गॉसियन सरफेस आपने कंसीडर किया है उसका एरिया स्फेयर का ही एरिया होगा और छोटा उसका रेडियस है, तो इसलिए ये कितना हो जाएगा, 4 पाई R स्क्वायर हो जाएगा. अगेन Q R क्यूब अपॉन 3 is not here, it is Q R cube upon R cube. So E is equal to Q R cube upon, ये इसको सब नीचे ले आइए इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड कैलकुलेट करने के लिए. एप्सिलॉन 0 K नीचे चला जाएगा, 4 पाई R स्क्वायर नीचे चला जाएगा, R स्क्वायर से ये R क्यूब कट जाएगा, केवल एक R बचेगा. कैपिटल R क्यूब यहाँ पे ऑलरेडी है, एप्सिलॉन नॉट K है, 4 पाई है, तो ये फॉर्मूला आपका आ जाएगा E इज इक्वल टू क्यू आर अपॉन 4 पाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट के इंटू आर क्यूब। ये कब होगा? व्हेन r इज लेस देन r, दैट मीन्स द पॉइंट P इज लाइंग इनसाइड द सॉलिड स्फीयर। Now again put in the terms of the volume charge density, Q is equal to rho into dV and Q is equal to rho and the volume of the whole solid sphere, that will be equivalent to 4 by 3 pi capital R cube. So E is equal to rho into 4 by 3 pi capital R cube into R upon 4 pi epsilon naught K into capital R cube. जो कैंसिल हो रहा है उसको कैंसिल कर दीजिए कि कितना बच रहा है? रो इंटू स्मॉल आर बच रहा है न्यूमरेटर में, और डिनोमिनेटर में बच रहा है दिस 3 विल कम हियर, दिस 3 एप्सिलॉन नॉट के। तो E इज इक्वल टू रो इंटू आर अपॉन 3 एप्सिलॉन नॉट के। रो क्या है? इट इज द वॉल्यूम चार्ज डेंसिटी, स्मॉल आर जो गॉसियन सरफेस का रेडियस है वो है, एप्सिलॉन 0 आपको पता ही है परमिटिविटी ऑफ द फ्री स्पेस, एंड कैपिटल के इज द डाइइलेक्ट्रिक कांस्टेंट। नाउ इफ यू जस्ट टॉक अबाउट द टिप्स एंड टूल्स, तो सम आई हैव रिटन फाई इज इक्वल टू ई डॉट डी एस। व्हाट इज द इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स? इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स में बी डिफाइंड एज द डॉट प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड एज वेल एज द एरिया वेक्टर, and this electric flux is a scalar quantity. Unit of electric flux, very easy, Newton meter square per coulomb. So Newton meter square and coulomb minus 1. Find out the dimensional formula for this. Newton का हो जाएगा mlt minus 2, मीटर स्क्वायर का हो जाएगा l स्क्वायर, और नीचे आपका कूलम्स था तो Q इज इक्वल टू I इंटू टी, यानी करंट इंटू टाइम। तो करंट का हो जाएगा एम्पियर और टाइम का टी हो जाएगा। ये दोनों ऊपर जाएंगे तो a टू द पावर -1 हो जाएगा और ये t टू द पावर -1 हो जाएगा, ये -2 में ऐड हो जाएगा तो t टू द पावर -3 हो जाएगा। दिस l स्क्वायर एंड l बिकमिंग l क्यूब। सो फाइनली द डायमेंशनल फॉर्मूला फॉर द फ्लक्स इज ml क्यूब t -3 a -1. Now this is all for today, children, and next we will just see another topic on the next turn. We are just taking our lecture alternately, so the children be prepared for this Gauss's law. Gauss's law is very, very important, and on the next turn we'll see some questions based on the Gauss's law in electrostatics. Thank you very much, children.